Target acquired. Ready for the next.
Confirmed. Stand by.
Mocking laughter drifted across the elite shooting range, bouncing off clean walls and polished lanes. Wealthy members stood relaxed, comparing scores and gear, confident in a place built for people like them. Then the door opened. An old woman stepped inside, wearing a faded coat and simple shoes, carrying a plain case. Conversations slowed. Smiles turned sharp. Someone whispered a joke. Another snorted quietly. She moved forward without looking around, as if the tension did not exist. To them, she looked lost, fragile, out of place. No one imagined she belonged here. No one suspected that the silence following her arrival would soon mean far more than their laughter. It was beginning of a story none of them could escape. The range was more than a hobby space. It was a social fortress. Membership meant wealth, influence, and quiet power. Unwritten rules guided every movement. You dressed right, spoke confidently, and proved yourself quickly. Mistakes were remembered. Outsiders were judged before they spoke. Newcomers felt watched, measured, dismissed. Respect was currency here, and it rarely came freely. The shooters believed skill followed status, that success outside guaranteed success inside. That belief shaped their arrogance. So, when the old woman stood among them, unnoticed by staff, yet noticed by everyone else, she broke the pattern. She carried no signs of success they recognized, only patience, which they mistook for weakness. Their certainty made them blind, and blindness always invites an unexpected lesson, especially in places built on pride and quiet assumptions. Whispers turned into open jokes as she walked past the firing lanes. One man laughed loudly, asking if she needed help finding the exit. Another smiled and shook his head, amused by her confidence. A younger shooter filmed quietly, expecting a failure worth sharing later. Each comment landed like a small test. She passed them all by staying silent. Her calm unsettled them more than anger would have. She did not defend herself or explain. She simply existed in their space, refusing to shrink. That quiet refusal raised the stakes. If she failed, they would laugh louder. If she didn't, everything they believed might crack. The room felt tighter with every step she took forward, and every stare hardened slowly. Up close, her presence felt steady, almost grounding. She moved with care, not hesitation, as if each motion had meaning. Her hands did not shake. Her eyes remained clear, focused on nothing and everything at once. She listened more than she spoke, absorbing the space around her. There was no rush in her actions, no need to impress. Time seemed to slow near her lane. A few shooters sensed it, though they could not explain why. Something about her suggested experience earned the hard way. The kind learned through years, not trophies. Whatever her past held, it had taught her patience, and patience is never empty. It waits quietly, gathering strength, until the exact moment it is needed. She carried that truth without ever speaking it. Aloud to anyone there, the challenge lane was mentioned with a mix of pride and fear. It was the hardest test the range offered, designed to break confidence. Even the best shooters avoided it on bad days. Stories of failure followed its name. When someone jokingly suggested the old woman try it, laughter spread fast. The idea felt absurd to them. She paused, listening, then nodded once. That simple response cut through the noise. A few laughs died early. Eyes followed her as she moved toward the lane. What began as a joke started to feel like a mistake. The range seemed quieter, as if waiting to see what would happen next. No one expected courage to look so ordinary in that moment alone. Attention gathered from every corner of the range. Conversations stopped completely. The earlier laughter faded into an uneasy quiet. People leaned forward, suddenly invested. Some crossed their arms, preparing to witness failure. Others watched with doubt growing into curiosity. The old woman stood still, breathing evenly, waiting. Seconds stretched longer than expected. The staff watched closely now. No one spoke. The air felt heavy, charged with expectation. She did not rush or hesitate. Her calm made the moment sharper. Everyone believed they knew how this would end. That belief tightened the silence. When the time finally came, the entire room felt suspended, caught between certainty and the fear of being wrong. Eyes fixed on her, reputations quietly rested on what happened next. Even confidence can tremble when truth approaches without warning, and pride has nowhere left to hide in silence. The room held its breath. She raised her focus, not her voice, and waited for the right instant. A sharp sound split the stillness, clean and brief. Echoes faded quickly, leaving only silence. No one moved. The target spun once, then slowed, as if thinking. Screens flickered. A few people leaned forward. Others closed their eyes. The old woman remained perfectly still, her face calm, unreadable. Seconds stretched. Whispers died before forming. The result had not appeared yet, and doubt crept in. Had the sound meant success or failure? Pride and fear tangled together across the room. Everyone realized they were no longer watching her. They were waiting on the truth, unsure whether laughter would return or disappear forever. The silence pressed harder with every heartbeat in the room around. A red light blinked. Then it stayed on. Gasps broke the quiet. The rangemaster stared, then checked the screen again. Someone laughed nervously, insisting it had to be luck. Officials hurried forward, reviewing numbers, replaying the moment. The result did not change. Murmurs spread fast. A perfect hit. Then another detail surfaced, quieter but heavier. A record time, never reached on this lane. The room shifted. Smiles vanished. Jokes died mid. What had begun as mockery collapsed into disbelief. People stood straighter, eyes wide, voices low. The old woman had not spoken, yet everything had changed. The range felt smaller now, humbled by a truth no one expected. Respect replaced laughter in quiet, uncomfortable waves across the room that followed. She finally spoke, her voice steady and low. She said she had trained others long ago, when focus meant survival. The words were simple, without pride. A name was mentioned, softly at first. It traveled through the room like electricity. An older official stepped forward, recognition clear in his eyes. He repeated her name with respect, and nodded. Others remembered stories, articles, quiet legends shared in training circles. The mood shifted again, heavier now, filled with awe. The woman they mocked was no stranger to pressure. She had lived inside it. Ridicule drained away, replaced by understanding. In that moment, status meant nothing. Experience spoke louder than wealth. The past stood fully revealed, not as a boast, but as truth calmly offered to anyone willing to listen. Silence followed, respectful and complete. Across every lane without a single doubt remaining, the shooters avoided her eyes at first. One by one, they approached, voices quiet, apologies sincere. The man who had led the jokes stepped forward last. His confidence was gone. He admitted he was wrong and bowed his head. No excuses followed. The room felt lighter as pride loosened its grip. Some felt embarrassed. Others felt grateful for the lesson. The old woman listened, accepting their words without judgment. There was no anger in her expression, only calm understanding. What mattered was not winning, but learning. In that shared moment of regret, the group changed. Respect replaced arrogance, and silence carried more meaning than any applause could ever provide. In that place, they once believed, defined them so completely inside. When it ended, she packed her case slowly, carefully, as she had arrived. Officials offered honors, permanent access, even public recognition. She smiled and declined each offer. She said she did not come for praise or status. Her purpose was personal and complete. The owner thanked her, speaking with deep respect. She nodded, then turned toward the exit. No cameras followed, no speeches stopped her. As she walked away, the room remained quiet. People watched, understanding they had witnessed something rare. She left without ceremony, carrying only what she brought with her. The range doors closed gently behind her, and the silence felt earned. Nothing else was needed to complete the moment for anyone there, including herself, who felt quietly satisfied at last after many long years of waiting alone. The range never felt the same afterward. Stories were told more carefully. Laughter softened. Pride grew quieter. Those who witnessed the moment carried it with them, reminded that greatness does not announce itself. Age does not erase skill, and dignity needs no approval. The old woman did not return, but her lesson remained. True strength stands calm under judgment. True mastery speaks once, then steps away. Long after the targets were reset and the noise returned, one truth stayed clear. Legends do not chase attention. They arrive unnoticed, prove themselves silently, and leave behind respect where mockery once lived before.